crafters, Raquel here with Paints and Glitter. I welcome you to my channel, and today I'm going to introduce you to the newest craft kit. Today is unboxing day at Tonic Studios. That means you get to have a preview of what is in the newest kit that you will receive. Every kit has a little wallet that you'll receive that will contain the dies and stamps that are exclusive to the kit. So here you see the sticker that's included, and it says Bunny and Egg. So this is the Bunny and Egg craft kit number 76. I've gone ahead and separated the dies that came in this kit just to better share them with you. So what you have here is a hexagonal shape. Actually, you have 3 more here in the center. As you can see, these are smaller, but this is going to help you create the base on which to add the side panels for the size box that you'll be creating. As you can see here, there's a tall, narrow one. It does have a solid piece to decorate it with. That solid piece pairs up with this Verso set that's very beautifully decorated so that you can have some pretty panels to add to the sides. Then you see these other 2 sizes here. This other one here that you see that's smaller and a little bit narrower and also has a little panel, you can actually use to create a little chick. So that's up to you if that's what you want to have inside of the little box. So for that, you're going to have a smaller hinge. That's going to help you add that. And this other smaller little hexagon. So I'm going to go ahead and place that one there. But I did want to point out the difference with that. And then there's the little closure tab that you can use. There's also a tag that you can use along with the 2 sentiment stamps. There's a Happy Easter and a For You with 2 little hearts there. Then there's this little triangle here that's going to help you create a little banner. There's another hinge. This is the larger one for the outer size box, which will go along with this piece here. Another piece here that you can use to decorate the sides of this smaller box, which will go along with this one here. And then this one here will create little greenery if you want to, or the little bedding on which the little chick will sit if you want to go ahead and make that. And then on the other side are all of your little decorative pieces. So first you have the little bunny ears, and it does have the center portion that you can cut so that it's not just one color of paper. There are the little arms that you can add to the bunny. There are the nose and mouth piece. There's also the little beak for the chick, and then here are 2 different types of just rounded and oval eyes that you can use, or you can use the ones that look like the little eyes are closed with lashes or without. There's the little carrot with the greenery for it, a little flower that you can use. The feet for the bunny are here. There's a little wing that you can cut out for the little chick, and also its little feet. There's a little bow tie you can add to the bunny, a little swirl, and then the letters E-A-S-T-R. Of course, you can repeat the E to spell out Easter if that's what you would like to do. And for that, there's the little triangle piece here, in fact, so that you can create a little banner. So you would end up using this triangle along with these here to create the little banner. As far as the stamps are concerned, there's this panels, 2 panels here. They mimic the design that you see here. So you have your option. You can either cut out the actual decorative portion, or you can just use that solid piece that comes with it and stamp onto it to color those individually. And then if you want to, you can definitely stamp the little faces, the whiskers, the little beak, and little portions here you can use for the wings if you would like to, little eyes, the letters to spell out Easter, a little flower, and as I mentioned before, the 2 sentiments, Happy Easter, For You, with 2 little hearts on the sides. So of course you can create cards to go along with your These are 12 brushes, and they are nylon brushes that you can use, which are going to help you do some watercoloring. You get the flat edge brush there. You get round edge or round tip brushes and a variety of sizes. So if you're new to watercoloring, I can let you know with this set alone, you can do tons of different techniques. So in your kit, you're going to receive the collection of hair and skin tones watercolor pencils from Nuvo. Now, just to let you know, this does come in a variety of collections, and this is going to be excellent considering the colors that are included in your kit. So here you get to see that there are lighter tones, and then it goes all the way down to darker tones that you can use. And of course, you can play around with them to see how it is that you enjoy using the colors included. And I think that's an excellent little collection because it's got the pinks, the apricot yellows here, 2 different kinds. And then there are some browns and mahogany colors in here, as well as a gray, which is always a very useful color. Along with that, you're also going to receive, now this is going to be an either or, so you may receive the Sparkle Spray in Frosted Lemon, which is what I have here, and it is a gorgeous color. The Sparkle Sprays have a bit of silver in them mixed with the pigment, and they are definitely all the shine payoff that you can ever imagine. So you're either going to get that color, which is the Frosted Lemon, or you'll get a Sparkling Mimosa. Now, as far as the Nuvo drop, you're going to get a crystal drop, and this is in Shimmering Rose. So this is also going to have a very gentle pearlescent type sparkle. Very, very pretty. Now, so you get to see. It's very pearlescent, very, very pretty. I hope you can see that there, but I'll be making, of course, some samples so that you get to see what that will look like. In this kit, you're also going to receive a sampler of Craft Perfect papers, and you'll be receiving 2 sheets of the classic ivory white, and that does have a linen weave on one side, smooth on the other, so excellent paper there to use for all sorts of crafting. You're also going to get Buttermilk Yellow, one of my personal favorites. Also 2 sheets of Marigold Yellow. You're also going to get 1 sheet of Pumpkin Orange. What a pretty color. You'll also get 1 sheet of Bubblegum Pink, and this does look like coral, but it is called Bubblegum Pink. Then you're going to get 1 sheet of Fern Green, 1 sheet of Tan Brown. You're going to get 1 sheet of Sherbet Lemon, and look at this gorgeous glitter card. It will not flake, just so you know, and it is smooth on the other side, perfect for die cutting. So I'm going to now make a tutorial for you on how you can create this gorgeous little mate. To make this project, you're going to start with 4 of these large hexagons, for which there's a die in your set. There's also a die that will cut out a large and medium hexagon that look like this. So you'll be using both of those, and you can cut them according to your taste. I've taken the tan brown card. I've cut out 6 panels that are this size here, and then I've cut out 6 panels that are this size. I've cut out the bunny ears, I've cut out the little feet, and then the little arms. So for the ears, you can cut out the little layers to go inside. You can also use these 2 pieces to cut out the little belly of the bunny. And then there's the hinge that you can cut, because this will be a box, and all sorts of little goodies. I'm just going to show you really quickly there that you can use to decorate the bunny. So there's a little nose and mouth, little eyes, whiskers, and other little circles here that you can use for either cheeks or eyes, depending on what you like. There's this little curly Q, flowers, little carrots, and then I am going to be creating a little banner for mine. Because I celebrate Resurrection Sunday, mine's going to be holding a banner using some twine from Tonic Studios in this beautiful little purple and white. I'll be using a straw, and I'm also going to be using the little triangles that you can cut out. On some of them I'm going to actually write the letters because I don't have them all, and the other ones I have cut out using the die set. So let's begin with the construction. I recommend you start shaping your paper first with a bone folder. Do that for all 12 of the pieces that'll be the side panels, the 6 large and the 6 small, and just a gentle curve should be sufficient. To construct the top of your little box, make sure that you do grab the smaller of the 2 hexagons. That's going to be what helps you put this together. I've gone ahead and added double-sided adhesive just to get myself started, and I'm going to fold all of the tabs, and you don't have to worry about the square ones. Just go ahead and fold them and make sure that all of your little panels look like that. Once you've gotten those nice and ready, take your smaller hexagon and flip it pretty side down. Here you're going to start applying your liquid adhesive and adding this topmost portion to the edge, and then folding that right over so that you can get a nice stick, and make sure that it lines up really nicely along that fold edge, just like so. You repeat that all the way around. Once you have those all adhered all the way around, it should look like this, like that on the other side. And because I like a nice sturdy piece, I am going to take another one of those hexagons in a 110-pound card, and I am going to adhere it to the center here, and that's going to allow me to have a nice sturdy top there. Now I'm going to go all the way around adhering the little tabs. So I'm going to remove the double-sided adhesive backing that I had placed on there, and I am going to add a little drop of wet adhesive on each one of those tabs, which I'm then going to line up and press against its next little panel. So that should line up all the way to the bottom, and as you're doing so, of course, then you can apply pressure from underneath. Once you're happy with the placement. And that should start looking like that. So I'm going to repeat that all the way around as well. And what I want to focus on, of course, is making sure that I keep that curve in the paper, of which I do need to remove the liner. Can't forget to remove the liner on that tape. I'm going to make sure that there's a bond on this paper, and for that I want to make sure that I do add liquid adhesive, and then be very careful as I apply the pressure on there to make sure that it lines up all the way from the top to the bottom. You should now have something that looks like this. And on here, to make sure that you have a nice edge, then you're going to be using 2 pieces that look like this. One of them you can feed right inside. And it's up to you whether or not you use a magnet to open and close this little box. If you're going to do so, then make sure you grab a nice strong magnet that will fit one of the edges. But on here, you're going to adhere the little tabs that are on the side right onto that hexagon. What you want to focus, of course, is on that little corner meeting that little corner as well on your side panels. It's going to help give you a really nice shape to your project. You can select which side's going to be the back of the box, which one's going to be the front. So I try to see which panel looks the best and make that the front of my box. So I think this is going to be the front. So on the opposite of that, I'm going to place my little hinge that I had created. I'm going to fold that in half. And I'm going to make sure that that fold line is facing the outside of the box. So that'll go right there. You don't want that to be seen from the outside of the box. So it can go right there. And then on the opposite side of that, you'll place your little magnet. And you may want to reinforce this with double-sided adhesive. If you have red line tape, you can use that, of course. I like to place my little drop of glue first. Now you can add adhesive all the way around. And add your second hexagon to this side. This is going to help hide that little magnet and also the hinge that you had added. It also adds a bit of reinforcement. And I like to cut this out of 110-pound cardstock as well, only because it helps me have a nice sturdy edge to this. I think it makes a difference. You are going to need the larger of the two hexagons that you had cut. Go ahead and fold and burnish all of the tabs. And get this all prepped by folding the side tabs as well. And if you're going to use double-sided adhesive, add it on the side without the tabs, and then we can begin the assembly for this one. Here we're going to do the same thing. Take that hexagon and place it pretty side down. Then take one of your panels. I like to place adhesive on the base piece, and then use that fold tab to fold right over and make sure that this reaches edge to edge here. Like so. Then repeat that all the way around. We should now have a piece that looks like this, same as we did before. A wider base, of course, and now you can definitely reinforce that as well if you would like to. I think it's a good idea, especially if you intend on using these to decorate a table or to gift any kind of candies, if that's something that you do. Same as before, adhering these side panels. I'm going to remove these and add my adhesive to those little tabs, making sure that they join together top to bottom. And of course, if you want to decorate the inside using a different color, you would want to do that before you adhere your little hexagons. It'll make it a whole lot easier. And you can use the dies included in the set to cut out the little panels. You can definitely personalize these a whole lot, depending on the colors that you use, types of paper. And I did manage to cut all of these panels with the one piece of tan brown that was in the kit, in case you're wondering. It did not give me enough paper for the top and bottom little hexagons, but that is because I did cut out the ears, the arms, and then the little feet out of the same color. So if you're wondering how many sheets of paper you will need per box, it really depends on how many of the accessories you want to cut out of that same color. But if you're only counting these little panels, then by all means an 8.5 by 11 sheet of card is going to be sufficient. That's without, of course, including these larger hexagons. Those you want to cut out separately. And as I said before, I do recommend that 110-pound card for that if you have it. If not, then you can double up the papers before you add them to your box. Once you have your sides adhered, now you can bring in that hexagon. Just make sure that all of your little panels, however, have a good adhesion before you move on. Don't let it have any gaps there at the bottom, because that will change the shape of your box. You can place your larger hexagon shape right inside as we did before. Place adhesive on those side tabs all the way around. At this point, once you have that inside hexagon added to your base, you do want to add the top, because you're going to need to adhere that hinge. So again, pick your pretty side, make sure that that faces the front. And then I'm going to add it to the bottom box first. Should cover the entire piece there, so it should be plenty big. You can close the box and make sure it's nicely lined up on all of those little edges before you allow it to dry. Hexagon on top, but let's not forget that there's a little magnet here. So you want to make sure that you stick it there, apply your liquid adhesive onto the magnet, and then close that box. Okay, that's going to give you the placement there, exactly where you need it. Make sure you adhere your little magnet there. I'm going to reinforce mine again. Second hexagon that you'll place right on top. Give it a nice finish. So this will go right on top here. All the way around. Make sure you press it down. You now have a completed little egg-shaped box here. And now it's a matter of decorating this. So of course, if you're going to put the little feet here, you do want them to show up, and my suggestion is to put them kind of close to the edge so that you're able to somewhat see them there. Just add a little drop at the bottom here, and I want them to face the front of the box, so I'm going to put them kind of at the corner here, and the other one here. This is of course personal preference. At the bottom, Okay, now on the top, you can add the little ears if you like. So what I've done is cut the center here out of this white card. And what I'm going to do is take one of the pencils, soft apricot, to color the inside here. I'm just going to draw some little lines, kind of wispy little lines there in the center. Don't need a very big one. I'm just going to add some water here. It's just plain old water. And use a paper towel to dry it off if you think it's too wet. I'm just going to go ahead and spread that. It's going to be a very subtle coloring. Adhere these to my little ears. Can add these to the base here. Okay. And then there's a little tab at the bottom. I added double-sided adhesive there, and you can fold that. I'm also going to take my bone folder, and I'm actually going to curl one of the ears. So I want my bunny to be kind of cutesy. And now I'm going to add this so that it's right in the center here. My little bunny's rocking. Okay, so I'm going to add this little piece here. Right down here at the bottom. That's the bigger portion. My bunny's been eating so many jelly beans that its belly is turning the color of a jelly bean. That's what happened. And now the upper portion here. That's going to kind of help hide that magnet a little bit. In fact, you can push it up a little bit more if you want to. Or down. However you want to do it is fine. So long as they meet there in the middle. And you decide where the little face goes, of course. So just a little adhesive on that. It's going to go right there. I think I'm going to do this first. And add the little cheeks, one on one side, add the cheeks just like that. That I was going to use the same little circles, but I'm going to layer mine with the little ovals that I cut out in brown. Oval right there on top. This is where the little eyes are going to go. I think right about there is fine. So I just added 2 little drops of adhesive there. Oh, I accidentally... Okay, I'm going to add little lashes to my little bunny. I'm trying to make sure I don't add too much adhesive here, but I'm just adding the tiniest little amount that I can muster there. And I'm going to add the little lashes first. I did take off the little eyes. I had started off that way, and then I changed my mind because I want to add these little lashes. And you could leave it here. You don't have to add the little eyes if you don't want to. You can draw them on, whatever you're comfortable with. And I'm going to add mine like so. And then I'm going to add a little drop of adhesive there in the center. And use this little tool because it makes it a whole lot easier. And now I think I'm going to be happy with how the little eyes are going to look. Just have one here that doesn't want to budge. Okay, come on. Okay. I'm going to add the second one here. Like that. There we are. Okay. Once you've added the little eyes, you can add the whiskers. And I'm going to add one here. The other one on the opposite side. And you do want to have them be a little bit close to the nose because that's how a bunny's whiskers are. Kind of close to their nose on their little cheeks. Okay. I also decided that I was going to give my bunny curls, and that's why I cut these. So I'm going to add them all the way around, and I'll be right back once I've added the little curly cues to my little bunny. I've gone ahead and added little curls to my little bunny. She's got a lot of curls, and now she's going to have little flowers. Look, almost like a little diadem, because this is a festive little bunny. So I'm using the little 2mm wide adhesive from Tonic Studios. You can use those for dimension. And I'm doubling up the little flower that goes right on in the center on the top. The little arms of the bunny, which I cut out using the same cardstock, and then I just curled it around the little straw that I'm using. You can see the little letters that I've created a banner with. However, it needs a little bit of sturdiness to hold it up entirely, and I hope you can see that. So what I devised was a little plan here. Using this die here, it's meant to create the little latch to close the box if you like to. You can fold that in half and cut it. You can also cut it out of acetate, the carrier sheet that comes with your dies. So go ahead and fold that in half as well. And onto this, I am going to adhere the little straw. And I'm first going to adhere the little arm here to the side. On the other side, this is how I did it. I placed two little dimensional foam adhesives here, and I wanted it a little bit low and on the second panel following the little face. So I'm going to put the little arm there. And this is, again, just holding up that little banner, of course, but I want it to kind of stand out more like that. So in order to do that, I'm going to hot glue this little piece of acetate onto the bottom of that straw. So I'm just going to apply a little bit of hot glue to this, just a tiny little drop. And of course, if it comes off, that's okay, because you can always re-adhere that. And then place that little circle right at the bottom of that straw. And I'm going to try to show a close-up of that so that you can see where that little tab is. It folds up on the side. Hopefully you can see that. It folds up just like there. Okay, now this is going to be placed here. Again, I can always reinforce that with glue, but I now want those little tabs to face the side of the bunny so that they will hold this up. And that way I can use that acetate to create that sturdiness that I need. So of course I can add some little hot glue to this to make sure that they don't keep popping off. And again, I'm gonna kind of aim it down here, just like that. And now I get to position the little acetate here. I'm going to also use hot glue just for the sake of making this video a little bit faster. Okay, so there's that little bit. And now she's going to hold the other side. So I'm going to place hot glue here. And she's going to be holding that like so. Same little tab again. And I just cut it in half so that I would have the little pieces of paper that match the bunny. And now I can cover up that acetate. And I know it takes these little squares to now be adhered onto that, but I'm okay with that. I'm going to go ahead and adhere these little squares right on top of the acetate. Placing that little square there. I found these little pom-poms that have some silver string, and I'm going to add these to the top here so that this doesn't look unfinished. I'll do the same thing on the other side. Just like that. And of course, this little bunny needs a tail. To make the little tail, I decided to use the little flower die cuts that you can cut out with this set. And because this is going to open, and there's that fold there, I don't want it to get stuck. So I cut one of the little flowers in half. I've already adhered the other half on the top, and I created like a little grouping there, just to make it a little more visually appealing. There's that divide there caused by the hinge, but you can use the little dimensional adhesive as I've done here, and that helps. So I'm going to stick one little flower on one side as I've done. This is exactly what I did on the top. And then here I have this little flower stuck with a dimensional adhesive. And now I'm just going to group that here. Suppose I can bring this one in a little bit more, of course, closer to the center. And there. That creates my little bunny tail. This is just for fun. It doesn't have to look like a real bunny tail, but it's cute. And there that is. I think it's so cute. Next, I'm going to go ahead and make the little chick, so you get to see how that is assembled. To make the little chick, you will have some options. You can definitely make the little chick so that it actually comes out of the same size egg. So if you were to make this as an actual little egg instead of a bunny, for instance, then you can definitely fit it so that it will go inside of this portion of the box. And when you open it, of course, then you're going to see a baby chick. However, you can do it as a standalone project. So I've cut out 6 pieces using this die here. And this is the pointier one. It is smaller, and it also has this little pointed portion there on the side. And then from the little hexagons that came in the kit, For this one, you'll end up using these two small ones. So for the top portion, you're going to actually use the tinier one. So small and tiny is what I'm going to call it. Okay, so there's a tiny little hexagon, and I've got 6 pieces. Of course, you're going to want to treat this the same as all of the other ones, where you fold your little tabs. And then that topmost tab, you're going to fold down as well. And the edge here, you can actually fold out. I've done the same thing as before by applying that double-sided adhesive on the solid edge there. I'm going to fold all of the other ones. Once those are all folded and you've got all of your little tabs prepped, go ahead and take your little hexagon, place it pretty side down, and now of course you're going to adhere these on the side as you did for the larger one, and these are going to overlap, but you do want that little edge to look the same as you did before, and you're going to do this all the way around. And I'll come back when all of those are adhered to that little hexagon. Once you've adhered all of the little panels, they should look like that in the center, so they do overlap one another. And looks like this from the top. Now you can remove any double-sided adhesive covers if you have that, and continue adhering all of the little tabs on the sides. So don't worry about the square ones. Just add adhesive to those semicircles and then match them up with the side panel. Just making sure that you're keeping that curve just like you did before. And then join it all the way from the top to the bottom. And then for now, you can ignore the little tab, that triangular one at the bottom. You don't want to join those until you have all of your little side tabs adhered together. So I'm going to do that, adhere all the way around, and I'll be right back. You should now have something that looks like this once you've adhered all of the pieces together. And what you can do now is, if you want to cut the layers that fit inside, of course this will also decorate the outside of this, but I thought it would be really cute to go ahead and use this to finish the inside, especially since I'm making the little chick. I just thought it would be really sweet. It's going to give it a nice finished look, and it won't hide all of the little tabs, but that's okay if it doesn't. The way that you would is that you would have to cut out the same exact size panels and then just cut away the portion of that piece on the bottom as well as all of the tabs. So that's personal preference, of course. So I'm going to cover all of these and we'll continue on. I'm also going to cover that center portion there, just using a white piece of card. I like to use my leftover 110-pound card precisely for that sort of thing. Now I've gone ahead and done the other portion of this, and what you're going to notice there is that the center is actually larger, just like I had done before. So I just completed the top, and that was with the tiniest little die hexagon here that I cut out that little top portion, and then with the next one up I created the bottom one. So you're going to see that there's a little bit of space there because of the way that these adhere together, but you're going to construct it in the same exact way as you've done the lid. Now here I've gone ahead and cut out 2 hexagons in the same yellow. That's the paper that I'll be using. And I did use 2 that I cut out in 110-pound card just because I like a sturdy project. So I'm going to adhere this on here first, as you see. Okay. So at this point you can adhere all of those little triangles that you have on the corners. So I'll go ahead and add adhesive to those, just a little drop all the way around. And then these are going to match up. I like to use my table, so that way it can match up the little angles precisely. And it's going to match up those little points there. Once you've adhered the little triangular parts here on both edges, you should do it the same way. Then go ahead and place adhesive on that bottom edge all the way around. And you can adhere this to one of the larger hexagons, and you can put it pretty side down. Or you can do it this way if you'd like to, just to make sure that you line it up. And of course it's a smaller size than the actual large hexagon, but just make sure that you center it all the way around as best as you can. And you're going to have to press down on those sides. So a bone folder is going to be really useful here. Just make sure that you correct your little angles there as much as possible. You get a nice straight little edge there to your box. So once you have it exactly where you want it, then you can kind of flip it over and then apply pressure. This is going to be the top. Now I'm going to do the bottom, and I'm going to do it the same way. And this one will be a little bit easier because it is wider than the other one. So now it should look like this. And of course this is a box, so you need a hinge. Now again, you have to be mindful that this is the lid, and that's the one with the smaller little hexagon. So pick a side that you prefer, and you can now apply the hinge right here. I've cut myself a hinge with the larger die, and that's the one that I feel more comfortable using, so I'm going to proceed with this one. I'm going to apply adhesive here, and now that fold line is going to face the outside of this, but it's going to face down like that, just a little bit different than before. Okay, it's going to look like that. And now I'm going to cover that up with my second hexagon that I had cut. That looks like this. Use the little tab to open this little box. You can sandwich it in between these two pieces here. So that's what I've done, is I've used the die that comes in the set and cut out two of these little pieces, and I'm using the oyster gray card because it's a nice light gray color. I'm just going to add a little touch of adhesive, and before I adhere this hexagon that's going to cover this up, I'm going to apply this here. And of course I'm doing this because I can go ahead and center this, and then this larger hexagon is going to cover up all of those little hinges and everything. So you have an option there, depends on what you like. Kind of like the texture, but I want to make sure that I pick a side that looks really pretty. I'm going to now press this here, and it should match all of my little corners really nicely. I'm now going to take that little hinge, I'm going to fold it, and I'm going to have it match, of course, the other side of this to make sure that I hide it. is that instead of adhering it to the inside, I'm going to adhere it to the outside. So I'm going to apply my adhesive to the tab here, and then make sure that I join these two. Just like so, and close to that edge, and make sure that that hinge is able to fold over. So you may have to hold it from this direction like this, which is fine. Repeat the little tab here now. So we're going to match it up with the opposite one. Apply a good amount of adhesive on that end there. Match up your little tab. You may have to cut away a tiny bit of it because you have to account for the fold in the paper. And now it should match perfectly. And that's again just because of all the layers. And then now cover up that bottom portion. So I'm going to apply adhesive all the way around. And now I get to cover all of this up with another little hexagon. So this is what you should have so far. Okay, and again, that's just an option. Now, I want this to be able to sit pretty so that it doesn't topple over. You can, if you would like to, cut out another hexagon just to create a base. And then because I want it to match my little chick, then I'm going to adhere another piece of yellow card on top, just so that it has kind of the continuity there of color. So this is a 110-pound card. And you're seeing consistency there in the materials, and that's on purpose so that I have a nice heavy card there. And of course you can double that up even more if you'd like. And now those little separations there are not going to mean much because this is actually going to have a little base, and you can place it whichever way you like. I think I'm going to go in this direction here. So I'm going to apply adhesive here. Be quite generous. And then I'm just going to try to center that on that little base as best as I can. That looks good to me. I'm going to allow that to dry. While that's drying, of course, now I can decorate this. I can give it little wings that you can cut out using the dies in the set. I would like to kind of double mine up to make it really kind of fluffy looking. And I'm gonna, like I said, I'm gonna double mine up. I want it to be kind of a fluffy little chick. So we've got that so far. Super cute. And how you apply those, of course, is totally up to you. You can cut out little cheeks out of pink paper, as I've done here. The little feet, which I've cut out in brown. And just going to put it where I think it's going to look really cute. And another one on the other side. So it'll look like that at the bottom. Then I can proceed with the rest of this. And what I decided to do was to give this guy a little bit of a crest. And that's, of course, completely optional. But I took the same little piece that you can cut out to make it look like little feet. And I just use an apricot orange color that I have. And I thought it would look really darling to just put that up here. Kind of stagger it. And make it stand up a bit. And I'm gonna try to curl it. I think it looks cute. So this one's gonna go right here. He's gonna be a little cheeky with an attitude. All right, I'm liking that. See? And then I'm going to use the little lashes that I had cut out here to represent the little eyes. And I'm just going to put these on the front, but just on the front like that. So the bunny had two little lines for lashes. This one's going to have 3. Just kind of a funny thought to be giving a little chick eyes with lashes. But it is meant to be cutesy. And I have the little beak, which is just the tiniest little triangle, of course, which I can put on here. It's going to go right there in the front, just like that. And then if you want, you can definitely give it little cheeks, which I had done before with the bunny. So now I'll repeat that with a much lighter pink this time around. The bunny had very flushed cheeks. And this little guy is just going to have a happy smile. It's funny how the eyes will give you that impression. Smiling little chick with cheeks. Okay, very darling. And of course you can add a little tag with a sentiment. So here you have options. In fact, it just dawned on me that that little beak there is actually to make, you can make a duck if you wanted to. Why not? Choices, choices. But what I'm going to do is use the little Happy Easter stamp. Just a little block here. I'm going to avail myself of the Carrot Stick ink pad. This is hybrid ink from Tonic. Nice bright color. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this little sentiment. Super cute. And of course you can use the twine, whichever color you prefer. Go with that middle loop right into the tag. Might have to use a tool to push it in there. Pull that twine from the other side and grab it like that. Just pull it through. And then this way you can feed the twine right through here as well. And if this happens and it starts to unravel, don't worry, you can always kind of twist it again really tightly and you'll be able to do it again, so don't worry. Just gonna pull it through, okay, you see? And then you can tie it into a little bow or a little knot. So there you have the little chick and the little bunny. I think they're so cute. I am going to come back with uses for the stamps and the coloring pencils, of course, but here you get to see, for instance, how this definitely would fit inside of here. Of course, it's going to be a little bit different if you go with the type of construction that I shared with you, but if you're making this into an egg and not a bunny, the difference would be that you would adhere this little guy just for instance the top portion if you would like to, onto that bottom. And it's up to you whether or not you even want to make the bottom portion, but I figured I should show you how in case you just want to make several of these for a table. I think that would be super cute. I showed you how to make this shape here for the little bunny. So the bottom shape that I used for the bunny was the same exact size that I used for this one here. And of course, you can use it as the side profile like this, or you can lay it on a table this way. But I thought it would be cute to just top it off with a bunch of little flowers. And here I did stamp out the For You in a nice purple color to match the twine. And what I did here was to use the panels that I had colored using the Hair and Skin Tones watercolor pencils. I also used the crystal drop on the sides there on the panels that I had cut out, and I also colored those even though I did use the die to cut them because I'm a Christian, and so for me what I celebrate is Resurrection Sunday. Then I added that message to the inside of this little box. You open it up and it says, "He is not here, he is risen," from a paper collection that I have that I use to decorate the inside of the little boxes. I cut out the three, what seemed to be like little crosses, and then I used the little sun from the rainbow box kit. It was another Tonic craft kit, and this does open. And it's just a simple hinge, and of course you can place candies inside or even on the top, so super easy, and that'll tie back together. And then on the inside of this one I also lined it using the same papers, and on here I thought it would be cute actually to add a few of the little carrots as if the little bunny had eaten them. I got to thinking my niece might like that. I think I can send her that and then add some little toys in there as well. But how cute is that? And of course, I absolutely love making the little chick. I think it's so sweet. So I hope that you've enjoyed this tutorial. Leave me a thumbs up, and if you're new to my channel, I invite you to subscribe. We are a little bit over 4,000 subscribers on this channel here, so it's a small family, but of course, I would love you to be a part of it as well. And as I always say, I hope that you can be inspired and be blessed. And I thank you so much for watching. See you in the next one.